Fucking let's do it. Hello, ballers, and a Christmas brofist to you all, because Christmas Day has passed, it has been, it is gone, Boxing Day is gone, we have visited all our family, we have done all that bullshit we have to do, and now we're going to game a little bit, aren't we? We're going to play some fucking games. No more commitments. I love this period between Christmas and New Year where it's like a void zone, but a good void zone that gives you like an energy buff, right? It's like everybody wants to do something Christmas. Everybody wants to do something Boxing Day. But what do you do the day after and the day after that before New Year starts? You know what you do? You play some fucking video games. We nerd it up big time. Yes, we do. And that is exactly what I've been doing as well. Fucking giving it big nerd style. I finished 2 games in the last 24 hours, which has been awesome. So good just to play games. Brilliant, brilliant feeling. Absolutely wonderful feeling. I finished Dead Island yesterday with Ghost. We played it on co-op. I finished Dead Island. Worst ending since Rage. Really? Such a tragic ending to a game. Really disappointed. And any of you who've played Dead Island? You know this? You know this shit? You played Dead Island and were you disappointed? How close am I to the camera? Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oosh. Better. Better. Oh. You played this? You played Dead Island? Fucking shocking. Shocking ending to a game. Ghosty was here. We finished it. Yeah, hashtag fucking dog shit ending to that game. So disappointed. So I even went to, where else do we go when things look bad? We want to find out more. We Wikipedia'd it. Oh yeah, we went there. We Wikipedia'd it. And apparently there is an entirely different game played from the opposite end of the spectrum, which reveals more of the story. I don't like that. I don't like that. You should get a good gist of the story in the first playthrough. That's why you do a first playthrough. God damn it. I do the first playthrough to understand the story. I like a good story. I do. I like a good story. A Dead Island. I'll talk about it more in a minute. I also finished Dead Space 2. Okay. No spoilers. And if you finished Dead Space 2, don't spoil it in the chat. But I'm going to say something which those of you who have finished it will know and understand. And those of you who have yet to play it, you should go and play it to experience this. There is a thing about the steps, right? There's step 1, step 2, and step 3. There is a machine that carries out step 3. That is the most grim thing I have ever done in a fucking video game in my entire goddamn life. Holy shit. I didn't even work out what I was supposed to be doing at first. It seemed unbelievable to me that this would be part of a game. And so I'm laid down there, I'm in the machine, and I'm doing my thing, and then I work out what I'm supposed to do for step 3, and I'm like, holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? I have to actually do this? I have to do this to my own character. I have to do this. Oh my fucking god. And I did it and I was like, dude, that's not fucking cool. That's not fucking cool. That is, oh my god, it's so grim. It goes through you like, oh, fuck me. It was fucking terrible. It was the most horrific thing. I mean, that game is pretty horrific. Let's face facts. Dead Space is supposed to be horrific. I did not realize how horrific it was going to get until I had to do step 3. Oh my god. That is terrible. And before you do it, they're like, somebody says, this is going to hurt, isn't it? And they go, yeah. It's really going to fucking hurt. Oh my god. Ugh. I almost filmed it just to remind everybody of what step 3 is, but I don't want to spoil it because the Steam Christmas sale is still on. And from what I can tell, from all of you wonderful gangsters who are a part of my Steam friends list, you're playing all sorts of games that have come out on the Steam sale, including Dead Space 1 and 2. So I'm not going to spoil it in any way. Just to let you know, though, shit. But I wanted to talk more about Dead Island, because Dead Island started well. Do you know how many times I wanted to do a top 5 video? And this is one that you guys can actually help with. The top 5 video, or top 5 games, where you feel like the developer ran out of either A, time, B, ideas, or C, any sort of cash whatsoever. Okay, these 3 things going on. It felt like that in Dead Island. It definitely felt like that. It felt like we got to a certain part of the game, which, no spoilers, takes place in a prison. It takes place in a prison where you do a multitude of tasks. And then suddenly it just skips straight to the end of the game. It's like, oh, forget all that shit you've done before. Let's just go straight to the end of the game, finish the game, and it's done. We kind of got the impression that we were at the end of the game because it did that classic thing that no game of 2000 and fucking whatever should ever do. It should never do it. It just gives you a shitload of ammunition and health and then just sends endless amounts of fucking mobs at you. And I was like, I think we're at the end of the game. We were also watching the Two Towers. We had the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers on in the background. We paused the game to, of course, watch the Battle of Helm's Deep. Oh, yeah. That shit is fucking kick-ass. We were doing that, and literally the end of the game just appeared out of nowhere. It was like, oh, okay, we've been building to this point. We've come through here. We've dealt with the shitty quest system, the most atrocious map system I've ever dealt with in any game, a ludicrous amount of weapon mods, which are completely unnecessary. We've done all that kind of stuff. We've had some good quests, some bad quests, and on our way. And we got to the end of the game, and then it just ended. It was just like a whole cutscene of ending the game. And we were like, what? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? And then Ghost instantly was like, I need to find out more about what's going on. I don't understand this part of the story. I don't understand this part of the story. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? What a horrible way to finish a game. To not clear everything up. I hate that. I really detest it. And it feels like the company got told, hey, we need to release this game in about a week. Can you hurry up and fucking finish it? Or it should have finished much sooner, but they were like, we know what we should do? We should have a prison. Yeah, a prison would be really cool. Yeah, we need to get a prison in the game somewhere. We need to just shoehorn in a prison. We need to get the prison in there, and then we could do this really cool idea. And they did have a cool idea, because Dead Island, if you can't work it out, is a zombie game. Dead Island is a zombie game. In order to make the zombies harder, they used the police in the prison to give them armor. And I turned to Ghost and said, that's a really clever idea, because zombies wouldn't have armor. But of course, the police who get turned into zombies would have armor, so that makes total sense. Which was really fucking cool. But they just spoiled it completely. A reasonable game. I wouldn't say it was a great game. It has many, many flaws. Dead Island is massively flawed. A lot of you have been sending me messages on Steam. Hey, should I buy Dead Island? It's on really cheap. I would say sure, go ahead and get it, especially if you're playing with people. If you haven't got anybody to play with, check out our website. There's all sorts of people there looking for Steam playthroughs with other people. If you've got other people to play it with, go ahead and do it in a casual basis. I think we finished Dead Island. It's not a long game. Not a long game at all, especially if you start skipping side quests. It's one of those games that has a million side quests that don't matter, right? What level you are, because there's an RPG element, you get to level, you get to do all that kind of stuff, but it scales to your level, so it doesn't matter what level you are at all. You can finish the game at level 1, it doesn't matter at all, it really doesn't matter. So, you're doing that kind of, the side quests become completely irrelevant, and you just start skipping them because they're a waste of fucking time. They're all sort of the same type of thing. They're pretty cool, some of them, but after, there's a particular place in the game, which is a city, I think it's called Moresby or something like that, which is, the map system fails you completely, and the quest system, you can only track one quest at a time, fails you so badly that you start skipping the side quests because they just become a complete pain in the ass. But overall, it's an okay game, so if you are looking to buy it, I'd recommend it. I don't recommend you play it single player. I think you'd be bored to fucking tears. But play it with friends. Trading and stuff like that with friends and getting into situations with friends is much better. You get certain zombie attacks, which are definitely cool, especially if there's multiples of you. You get to drive around in a fucking SWAT van, which is awesome because all 4 of you are in it, all controlling each other, that kind of thing. That is really awesome. That is the best part about it. But I want to know your top games that you feel. So leave it in the YouTube comments for tomorrow, all right? Leave it in the YouTube comments for tomorrow. Games that you felt rushed. You could feel it in the game. You just felt like they just shoehorned the ending. Like, this is the end of the game, and they just did it. But the whole pacing of the game beforehand. It's about pacing, right? Dead Island's pacing is quite slow and methodical and really sort of set in stone until the end, and then suddenly it just goes, ugh. It's just like they just vomit the end out at you. It's like, there's the end of the game. I want to know what your games are that are like that. Maybe we'll compare a few, and maybe there's something I can try out and play, and maybe I could put a video together of that. Because I don't like that. It feels like, ugh. Why do you do that? You had a decent pacing going. There was a good idea going. I was quite excited to be in the prison in Dead Island and to get all that kind of stuff done. And then suddenly it was just the end of the game. And it basically just, it literally says to you at one point, don't bother with anything else. come and do the end of the game. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, then, so we'll just forget about all this crap we've been doing for the last 6-7 hours, or whatever the hell me and Ghost did. We took our time, big time. We are no speedrunners of games, let me tell you. We do not speedrun shit. We take our time, we take breaks, we stop and have a talk. We like to spend, well, Ghost likes to spend a good 10-15 minutes modifying his brand new weapon, testing it, spending all his money. To give you an idea, I didn't work out that I could reload the same character from our previous co-op games, so I continuously started at level 0 up until midway through the first chapter. So I was about 7 levels behind Ghost throughout the entire game. Which doesn't matter, all the mobs scale to the level of your character anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Ghost was collecting sort of 3 to 4 times the amount of cash I was per kill. So if a mob died, he would get like £3,000, dollars, whatever. I would get 1,000. Ghost upgrades everything to the max that he picks up, right? He modifies it, he upgrades the shit out of it, he makes it picture perfect and crisp. Everything you could possibly want in a lifetime he has. He's always asking you, do you have various ingredients, so he can mod it because he hasn't got shit. I had $52,000 or $55,000 by the end of the game. Ghost had about 110. Ghost had about 110, picking up 3 times as much money as I was, had absolutely no cash. He might have been about 10,000, something like that, that Ghosty had. Such a ridiculously low amount compared to what I had. But everything he had was chief. And that's what matters. His transmog was awesome. His transmog was key. And that's all that matters, right? That's good shit. So we're going to start Borderlands 2. I know Borderlands 2 is pretty old, but I haven't played Borderlands 2 yet. So we're going to try out Borderlands 2 over the next few weeks. Maybe we'll put a couple of videos together of that. It's more going to be, this is what we do in our downtime, is play these games. A swift reminder that it's only 2 days until the web show. Oh yeah! The Christmas and New Year web show. The drinking game web show. The rules will be posted when we start the show, okay? There will be rules, there will be gameplay, it's going to get sloppy. Again, if you are not old enough to take part, don't, okay? I can't endorse that, but it will get messy. It's going to get messy. You need, if you are able to take part and you are of age, in order to join us, you will require something you can drink on a casual basis, like lager, like this, and also something that you can shot, which is considerably stronger. I do not promote alcohol poisoning. Know your limits, people. Know your limits, okay? And that's on Saturday. What you need to do is also send me your Christmas bro fists. I'm starting getting them in now, which is awesome. A lot of you took pictures on Christmas Day. Christmas themed bro fists, send them to my email address. And also on the website, get your Christmas themed transmogs in. That will close Saturday morning. Saturday morning, the transmogs will close for the end of year best in class transmogs. Game over. That's it. I'm making the videos on Saturday day. There's a lot of videos to be made. Therefore, Saturday morning is the last time you can enter them. You do that on our website, preachgaming.com, in the community contest area. Okay? Very easy. Let's talk about some WoW stuff. While I've been away, there's been loads going on. I did a big Christmas, big Boxing Day. I did the whole family thing. I hope you guys did too. It wasn't actually that bad. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Panic-stricken. Microphone lead is wrapped around my foot. First world problems. It wasn't that bad, actually. Emma did an astonishing 12-star fucking Michelin star Christmas dinner at our home for 10 people. That was hardcore. She did it for 10 people. There was everything you could imagine. She didn't even get stressed. Handled it like a boss. And then on Boxing Day, we went off to visit my brother. And we had dinner with my gran and things like that. Which was cool. I had great fun on both occasions. There was no point where I was bored to tears, wanted to check my phone, play on the internet, anything like that. I didn't turn my PC on for 2 days, and it was fine. I had no issues at all. I was not bored in the least. Success. Not bored at Christmas with family. Huh. Awesome. Absolutely fucking fantastic. So I hope you guys did well too. What I wanted to say is WoW stuff. Loads going on. Lots of war and debate going on with Blizzard and the fans. Especially around dailies, but we're kind of tired and done with dailies. We know our feelings on the dailies. Blizzard doesn't like it. They're gradually changing their minds due to constant community outcry, which is fine, okay? It's gradually going to get there. Small victories, baby steps, going to get us there. That's all it's about. What I wanted to talk to you about was something that really bothered me that popped up on MMO Champion. Really, really bothered me. The Dungeon Journal. What do you guys think of the Dungeon Journal? Let's see in the chat. What do you guys think of the Dungeon Journal? Do you like it? Dislike it? Do you care? Do you not care? Doesn't matter. Either way. I just want to know what you think about it, really. I want to know what your gut instinct is. Did you enjoy it when it came in? A lot of you are probably going to try and do what I would predictably say and say, no, it's horrible thing. Horrible, horrible thing. Terrible, terrible. Doesn't really help. Oh, okay. Don't use it. Never cared about it. Never use it. Never use it. Never use it. Never use it. Don't care. Never look at it. Good enough. They look terrible. Don't really care. I like to see what the bosses look like. Cool. So you just use it like a transmog thing, really. Dungeon Journal. It's okay. Videos are still better. It helps. Never used it. So kind of split there. I'm more interested in the people who just don't use it anyway. Very difficult for a lot of people to get things out on the internet. One of the most annoying questions I ever get is people asking me something that we've discussed probably on the last 3 dailies. Things like that. I'll be like talking to you for maybe 2 or 3 days about changing main classes to raid, right? I'm changing mains to raid in 5.2. That's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about doing it. I might stick with my warrior. I might play this. I might play that. I'm trying out all different kinds of things. And then I get a lot of emails saying, are you going to raid? It's like, yeah, we talked about it for the last 3 days. So yeah, it's like, I'm just wondering, are you ever going to raid? You know? It's like, oh, okay. Those kind of things. The Dungeon Journal is one of those things where information is really hard to get out, no matter how easy you put it out there. It's not difficult to find out very new information. It's not hard at all. It takes less than 2 minutes a day probably to find and stay up to date with everything you need to know. But people don't like doing that. They don't. There's another of other reasons. They don't want to know, which is even better in terms of PvE as far as I'm concerned. You don't want to know what the bosses look like. You don't want to know what they do. That is a great way to be. I don't want to know until I do it. My theory on the Dungeon Journal is I wasn't sure who the Dungeon Journal was aimed at. Who do you think it's aimed at? Who is the Dungeon Journal for? I'm interested. Who are you? Who do you think it's for? Let's make it easy, okay? Let's make it easy. Let's put it in 3 categories. Let's say the casual raiders, the medium raiders who raid a few days a week and eventually do clear the content, and the hardcore raiders who clear it in a week. Let's make it easy. The casual guys who will eventually clear normal, the middle of the road guys who will clear all the content, but they'll do it in their own pace and time. They won't go through anything ridiculous, and the hardcore guys who clear it on day 1. Those guys. Who do you think it's for? New players, medium raiders, it's aimed for WoW players. Vudak there, what a guy. The medium raiders, very helpful raid leaders for explaining things. Casual raiders, I believe it's for all, but only the first time to get an idea. Casual raiders, whoever gives a fuck, hell yeah. Love them casuals, these jerks. You know what it is? Nobody knows. Look at this, everybody's got a different opinion. Who the hell is this thing for? There isn't a clear answer. In a way, it's for everybody. Vudak actually had the closest answer. It's for WoW players. It's for anybody who wants to look at it, right? But it's been added to the game. It takes quite a while to actually input into the game. It's got the whole graphical thing. It's got the big description. It's got the linkable spells that you can click. It's quite an advanced piece of kit. Who's it for? You guys don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. I don't know who this thing was for. The casual raiders won't really understand what they're reading. I kind of get that feeling. And when I say casual, I mean the guys who are still learning to raid, right? If I can read the Dungeon Journal and I can spot straight away, oh, that's a cone of effect attack that we need to split amongst the raid. I've seen it a million times, I know what it means. Easy enough. And a kind of normal, just getting into raiding character, be like, oh, how do we deal with something that hits for 8 billion damage? They'll just see 8 billion and be like, oh my god, how do we deal with that? The medium raiders will be like, oh, that's what killed me. Okay, that's how we deal with it. And the hardcore raiders will study it and go, cone attack that needs split, interrupted ability, tank cooldown. That's how they read it. There's a big paragraph of text. The hardcore raider goes, tank cooldown, interrupt, share, avoid. That's it. That's all they do. Avoid ability, do that. That's the name of the avoided ability. One of the best macros that most raiders used to roll with is something that was like, I have debuff of this encounter. Something that they used to do before boss mods were available to new raiders, right? And especially considering that most hardcore guilds didn't have somebody who could write boss mods. Most guilds do now. All the top guilds generally have a guy who can write their own bigwig script so they can do it themselves. What they used to do, and I had this as well, was a macro, and you pressed it, it says, I have the debuff of this encounter. Because they're all pretty similar, right? So Dungeon Journal was brought into the game. There's a huge outcry. There's a fucking war breaking out. Dungeon Journal's in the game. Why is it there? We don't need it. It spoils the encounters. One thing for definite, Dungeon Journal spoils encounters. It does. But only for really about 95% of people, if they choose to read it. The hardcore players data mine these spells anyway, right? You might not know this, but the data mining that they do when betas are out and all that kind of stuff, the hardcore raiders read that shit anyway, and they know the spells that are coming. They're more than prepared for it. What they don't do is see it on a nice graphical display, but they find it out anyway. Data mine spells are not hard to find. You can actually link them in game. It's not difficult to do. It's very, very easy to do, and it's not cheating. It's not exploitative, but that's what the guys did. So for the hardcore raiders, the dungeon journals are a fucking waste of time, right? Now we've got a kind of easier way to do it, and now you've got a way to sort of read up on an encounter before you go in. There's always the lazy raiders who just can't be arsed and just read through it anyway. But the rest of the people, it's just a spoiler. Because understanding an ability before it happens generally won't make that much of a difference until you see it. And I'm kind of annoyed. It just annoyed me that when I saw that all the bosses of the brand new raid tier have had their dungeon journal released already. That's fucking shit. That's really bad. Like, you can't even face the bosses yet. You know what they do. Where's the fun in that? It just seems to take the fun out of the game for me. I want to know your opinions on the dungeon journal. I want to know what you think of the dungeon journal. I really do. I want to know if you ever used it and it's been a benefit. I use it this way. I don't look at it until I pull a boss. Then we die, we wipe to whatever. Then I'll have a look at the dungeon journal on the run back and have a brief look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on. I got that experience for the first time doing it. How many of you right now have already looked at the dungeon journal for the new bosses? I'm interested. How many people in this chat have already looked at the dungeon journal for the new bosses? How many of you? I know some of you have, because you're saying I don't like the look of the new bosses, I don't like what they're doing, I want to see, not me. Shootums has, not this guy, 2 thumbs. Me. Several of you have. That entire list should be, I don't know. Because that's ace. That's wonderful. I have no idea what's waiting in it. I don't know. I bring this up a little bit. I wanted to tie this in today because the next 4 sort of top 5s, in fact, the next 2 videos are going to be a top 20. Well, it's one video, it's one top 20 list in 2 videos. It's a top 20, right? And what we were doing was actually going back in time a lot. Like we do, we were doing a bit of our Doctor Who thing. And we were going back in time to see about old stuff. And it was a list that is, as a top 20, it's kind of hard for me to work out the exact area that a top 20 should be on my own, right? I mean, it's all about my opinion. Fuck, it's my video. I can put my opinion in there. But it's with 20, I need help. So I had a couple of guys helping out to try and put together this top 20 list. And it was okay. It was all right. But what we started doing is reading old patch notes. Now, if you've read a modern patch note, you will know they are remarkably detailed, right? They are incredibly detailed. To the point that it's almost bizarre how detailed they are. Absolutely crazily detailed. And I found that normal. Right? I found that completely normal that was what happened. I want to read to you a previous patch note. I want to read to you what a patch note used to be like, and it will blow your fucking mind, I'm telling you. It's so weird. It's really weird. Let me find it. I want to make sure I get this right. I really want to make sure I get this right because it's awesome. It's really fucking cool. Where are we? Bear with me a sec. I've got to find it. There we go. I think this is it. That one? Yeah, I think so. Okay. It's a great video I'm doing here. Oh, okay, I'm going to read to you from World of Warcraft client patch 1.1. I actually knew it was 1.1. It brought up the Naxxramas one. Fuck you. Patch 1.1, right? In this patch, lots of things happened in patch 1.1 in early vanilla. So much shit happened. One thing that happened was racials were introduced to the game. That's right. Racials weren't introduced to the game until patch 1.1. Racial traits are now available for all races. Dwarves get stone form, gnomes get escape artists, humans get perception. Who remembers perception? Where are you, rogues? Fucking humans! Who remembers fucking perception? Oh, perception was golden, man. Perception was the fucking golden boy. Rogues be raging. at fucking humans. Oh my god. I'm going into stealth. Oh my god, the human can fucking see me. Fuck you, man. Seriously. Night Elf's got Shadow Meld. Orc's got Blood Fury. Activate it to just increase strength. Ah, I rolled an Orc Hunter. My Blood Fury increases strength. Oh, forever alone. Tauren's got War Stomp, which I guess was supposed to be funny. But hey, they got max health increase, no other. Troll's got Berserking. Undead's got Will of the Forsaken, which they'll always regret. New raid encounters. The new raid encounter patch that comes out now for, say, a brand new fucking huge raid is enormous, right? It's got massive patch notes. All this is included. This is the patch note from Molten Core. In Blackrock Mountain, beyond the depths, lies the Molten Core. Within the Molten Core lives ancient and powerful evil. Adventurers beware. Molten Core, the first major raid dungeon. That's the patch note for it. How fucking awesome is that? That is the best patch note I have ever fucking read in my life. Hey, in Blackrock Mountain, there's an ancient evil called Molten Core. Beware. Bye. Go and have a fucking look. Oh! That is so cool, isn't it? It's just so subtle. It's so fucking like, wow, Jesus Christ. That is just so fucking amazing. It's just like, hey, go and check out Blackrock Mountain. Beware, though. Some shit in there waiting for you. It's called the Molten Core. Why don't you go and have a look, see? That is fucking class. Onyxia's is even better. Molten Core and Onyxia were released in the same patch, in patch 1.1. Oh, and also, major patch note, new Kodo mounts. Does anybody know this? That Taurens didn't have class mounts? Does anybody know what ability Taurens had before they had mounts? It's brilliant. It's the best fucking thing ever. It's the best thing ever that Taurens used to have. This is memory lane for me right here. And the other one was, rumours of Onyxia, an enormous black dragon, have been heard throughout Azeroth. Be sure to bring many warriors, for she won't take kindly to intruders. Both factions need to complete a quest. That's it. That's all it says. Onyxia's in the game. She's there. Plains running. Joculus like a fucking boss. Plains running. So fucking cool. Plains running. You just run really fast across the grass. So fucking cool. So fucking awesome. You just ran really fast as a Tauren, which is the best thing ever. Fucking so cool. I love it, man. I want Plains running back. Tauren players will no longer have the Plains running ability. Oh, due to the availability of Kodo mounts. Tauren players can purchase a Kodo from Bloodhoof Village. The best thing ever is, get this. When Molten Core and Onyxia released, the gear wasn't there. Raid loot is being worked on. They released the raids, no loot. Well, the loot was there. Temporary loot has been placed in the raid encounters. Temporary loot. Game's there, bosses are there. We haven't done any loot. Go fucking see it. Go fucking see it. You know what I mean? We haven't even done the loot. Can you imagine if they did that now? Holy fuck! Can you imagine if they released? Oh yeah, here's the Mogasham Vaults. Loot's not ready though. Go to it. There's not the items. It's temporary items. You know. It's fucking. Hey, there's temporary items in there. Don't worry about it. We're not going to be very successful this game. You got to remember, Blizzard didn't think World of Warcraft would be successful. It was just as bad as like. Fucking all the other games like Star Wars The Old Republic and shit. Hell, Star Wars The Old Republic was miles more finished than fucking World of Warcraft when it came out. So fucking cool. Hey, go try it out. I love this. This is the best patch notes ever. So I was reading this kind of stuff and how things have changed. We've got so much detail, so much information just flying around everywhere. I refuse to comment on it. I do, which is kind of derogatory to my channel. I should be keeping you up to date on these kind of things. I want you to have that experience. I don't want you to read the Dungeon Journal. I haven't clicked it. I know it's there. I haven't checked it. I have no interest in doing so. I would recommend that most of you don't do that either. And try and avoid the Dungeon Journal in-game as well. Try and avoid that shit because you only get to see the boss for the first time once ever. You only get to do that once. And if it's in LFR, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm genuinely really sorry if you only get to see it in LFR. But if that is where it's going to be, then that is where it shall be. It is. That's where it shall be. Oh, any questions before I shoot off? I'm doing very quick dailies. I have things to do. I have family to see. I've got Way of the Warrior to produce. You got any questions before we shoot off? I hope you've all had a great Christmas. I really fucking do. I'm having a great time. I really am. I'm not drunk. This is my first beer. Fire Mage being nerfed. Oh, my brother. Oh, this is one of the wonderful things about having gamers in the family. Is while I was at my brother's, he was sat next to me. So on the couch, on the sofa, there's my gran, 92 years of age, my brother, and me. And he turns to me with this stern look. This look like, I don't like you anymore. And I was like, oh. And what are those eyes? He says, they fucked my mage. My brother has been a mage since vanilla. He's like a Grand Marshal. He was much better back then. He's kind of getting older now. He was much better back then. He's like a Grand Marshal or a Field Marshal, something like that on his mage, or a General maybe. He was very, very high up in the PvP rankings. Literally stood in AV casting Blizzard on the ramp. I'm sure that is how he did it. He just stood on his mage in Alterac Valley casting Blizzard on the ramp, Grand Marshal, whatever. And he was fucking awesome. And he turns to me and went, they fucked my mage up. And I was like, how do you mean? And he did the classic, fire is dog shit now. Fire is hashtag dog shit. I hate it. They ruined my fire spec. Don't crit enough. I don't get enough pyros. It's rubbish. I hate it. And I said to him, no, they didn't. Fire mage is fine. It was overpowered. It's balanced now. It's not too bad at all. Sure, Arcane's kind of better, especially with Scorchy cheesing. But still, the fire mage is not garbage. It's not dog shit in the least. And he's like, no, it's terrible. I'm re-rolling. He's such a flavour of the month kind of guy. And a lot of you see that the same thing. It's fucking. He just looks at me like, ugh, rubbish. It's still not right. I'll give it that. Does it need more nerfs? Maybe tweaking. I would not say nerfs. I'd say tweaking. I would say it needs tweaking. Fire can scale so incredibly well. That's the problem with fire. This is kind of the pre-warning I've already done for Destruction Warlock. Same thing. That thing can scale really, really well. And that means it's dangerous. That means it's prone to change. Fire can do the same thing. It might almost be that Inferno Blast being guaranteed crit is the crux of the problem. Is that they're guaranteeing that these pyros will come out pretty regularly. And that is an issue. That is a definite issue. That unpredictability of exactly how many crits you're going to get in a row added in with, because you can always have chain crits even at 1% crit. You'll just start critting your ass off and start doing crazy things. You then add in guaranteed crits and you can have a pretty good fucking time. Fire Mage needs some tweaking. It's not shit by any means. I checked recent logs. I watched a couple of mages playing Fire. They were fine. They were claiming other specs were better. Frost was better. I'm leveling as Frost on my mage at the moment. Having a great time doing it. I love my Frost Mage. I think it's a ton of fun. Arcane, shit. Arcane is just a shockingly bad spec. But we know that. We all know that. It's being nerfed again. Not much to say. It's been tweaked, I would say. It's been tweaked. They'll settle in the right place. It always bothers me that they can't do that behind the scenes. I would certainly love to see them be able to fix a class behind the scenes. That would be better. Who are you thinking about raiding with? Not answering that yet. Not answering that yet. Combat Rogue's doing 75% less damage on Blade Flurry is a massive nerf. IMO on cleave fights. On cleave fights for sure. Blade Flurry should have been nerfed in Cataclysm. Why it wasn't nerfed in Cataclysm, I'm not really sure. Especially when the gear levels started to get to the stage where energy being under Blade Flurry didn't really matter. Blade Flurry always bothered me, especially as a warrior, right? We were the cleave machines. Warriors were the cleave machines. We used to decimate things while cleaving. Look at fucking Trial of the Crusader. You got the twin Valkyrie, put some warriors in there, you had a good time. You had a fucking good time. Blade Flurry always seemed disgustingly good for what it did. Disgustingly good. Just stupidly good. Just crazy good. And then Sweeping Strikes got changed to be like Blade Flurry, but with much more severe penalties than Blade Flurry has. Massively severe penalties. And it was nerfed pretty quickly. How Blade Flurry survived the entire length of Cataclysm, I don't know. I really don't know how that happened. How did Blade Flurry survive all of Cataclysm is a mystery. And then made it into Mr. Pandaria? I find that so strange. It shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have been the way it is. It didn't need it. It really did not need it. I liked the fact that you had to think about your Blade Flurry in the past. Have I got a cleave moment coming up, then I can fire off my Blade Flurry. Having it just on, I never really liked that. I never really liked that. Yeah, the single target should be fixed, right? You can't say, I need a permanent cleave because my single target is weak. That's not the way you do it. Your single target should be strong anyway. That you're a rogue, for Christ's sake, and not just going into cleave. All good. Anything else? other than nerfs. The web show is going to start 8 PM on Saturday, which is like 2.5 hours from now, this time. 8 PM GMT. That's 8 PM London time, okay? I'll put out a Facebook post. I'll even put up a warm-up video, assuming we have time. Saturday web show setup is crazy. It is one of the most stressful times in my fortnightly period. I have lots to do while Ghost relaxes on my couch. Ghost isn't the best at helping set up videos and stuff like that, so he mans the couch and keeps it ready and sorts out the Brofist pictures and all that kind of stuff. So I will be really stressed out, which is why your transmogs must be done by Saturday morning. They really must, because that's when I'm doing them. I have too much to do that day, especially with all the equipment we'll be using while drunk. Very wary of using equipment whilst drunk, I really am. Also, the sub-rogues and the Disc Priest guides are coming out shortly. I'm mainly focused on getting the Disc Priest guide done. I think that's important. It's such a strong spec now. Let's get that video done. Sub-rogues are still pretty weak, so maybe with the combat change they'll become more prominent, so I'll make sure I'll get that out to you too. And also all the guides. Again, we're on schedule for Monday to get out our big Monday video. Again, it's going to be a top 20 this time, and it was a very difficult list to come up with. It really was. So I'm going to go, and tomorrow is Drama Friday. I'm looking for maybe 1 or 2 more drama stories. I've got a few, but I've got to follow up the chosen one, right? I've got to follow up the chosen one, which is not easy to do. So again, send your drama stories to preachgaming@gmail.com. I'm looking for 1 or 2, maybe a little bit good ones, a little bit devilish, a little bit cool. All right? So have a great day, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for Drama Friday, and then Saturday, it's Web Show Day. So take it easy, ballers, and have a wonderful fucking evening. Whatever you're doing with your Christmas time off, use it well before work and school and all that bullshit starts again. Have a fucking great thing. Hey, don't ask me, what about huge drama? We're fine with huge drama. We want massive drama. The biggest drama, the better. It doesn't even have to be in WoW. Some of you said, can I send one from Star Wars? Can I send one from this game? Yes. All works. MMOs are essentially the same thing. Let's hear the drama. Let's get it going on. Have a good evening, ballers. I'll see you later.